today's video, I'll be discussing questions from CSIR NET 2014 December and June session. So let us see the first question. So the first question is from December session and this is a part C question. For arbitrary subspaces U, V and W of a finite dimensional vector space, which of the following hold? So there are four options. So if we want to prove any option, we need to prove them, and if we want to discard some option, we need to produce some counter example. So first it is see option 2. So option 2, this one is contained in this one. So let us take an element from the right hand side one. So x belongs to, let x belongs to u intersection v plus u intersection w. So since x belongs to this plus this, so x can be written as x equals to x1 plus x2, where x1 belongs to this first one and x2 belongs to this second one. So from here we can conclude that x1 belongs to u intersection v and x2 belongs to u intersection w. So from here x1 belongs to u and x1 belongs to v, and from here x2 belongs to u intersection w, so x2 must be in u and w, so x2 belongs to u and x2 belongs to w. So from these two we can take x1 belongs to u and x2 belongs to u. Similarly, and x1 belongs to v and x2 belongs to w. Now x1 belongs to w and x2 belongs to w, and u is what? U is a finite dimensional vector space, subspace of a finite dimensional vector space. So x1 plus x2 must be in u. So from here x1 plus x2 belongs to u, since u is a subspace. And from here we can conclude that x1 plus x2 belongs to v plus w, since x1 belongs to v and x2 belongs to w. So x1 plus x2 belongs to v plus w. From here we can write, since x is what? X is x1 plus x2. So x belongs to u and x belongs to v plus w. So x is in both, so x must belongs to u intersection v plus w. So from here we can conclude that this one is contained in this one, u intersection v plus u intersection w belongs to u, not belongs to, this should be contained in u intersection v plus w. So from here we can conclude that this option 2 is correct. Now let us check the opposite direction. If we take an element from this, then x belongs to u intersection v plus w. From here we can also write, since it is intersection, so x belongs to u and x belongs to v plus w. But from here we can write, okay, so from x equals to, if x equals to x1 plus x2, where x1 belongs to v and x2 belongs to w, from here we can write this, and from here we can also write this. But from this line to this line we cannot write, if x1 plus x2 belongs to u, then x1 belongs to u, or and x2 belongs to u. These we can't write. So this, the opposite direction may not be true. So let us find an example. Suppose let us take u as, let us take the vector space as R2 over R. Okay. So let us take u as, u equals to x6 such that X belongs to R. This is the subspace of R2. Now let us take V as X0 such that X belongs to R, and W as 0x such that X belongs to R. Okay, so we need to check the opposite direction of this. Now what will be U intersection V plus W? This is equals to V plus W. V has elements of the form x0 and W has elements of the form 0y. So V plus W will be the whole R2. So U intersection whole R2R. What will be this? This will be U. Now if we check this, that will be U intersection V plus U intersection W. What will be this? So this will be U intersection V. So these and this must hold simultaneously. So the first from U we can say that first coordinate and second coordinate are same, and from V we can say that second coordinate is also always 0. So first coordinate should always be 0. So this is just 0, 0 space, the trivial space. So U intersection W, what will be that? U intersection W is this and this. These two must hold simultaneously. So by the same logic, this should always be 0 plus 0. So this is what? This is 0, 0 means the trivial subspace. So we can conclude that the opposite direction should not hold, since if the opposite direction holds, then we have to conclude that 0, 0. U is contained in 0, 0. But this is not true. So option 1 is the false option. Okay. Now let us check option 3. So for option 3, what we have? We have U intersection V plus W is contained in U plus W intersection V plus W. So let us take an element from this U intersection V plus W. So let X belongs to U intersection V plus W. So X must be written as x1 plus x2, where x1 belongs to this and x2 belongs to this. So X equals to x1 plus x2 belongs to U intersection V plus W. So from here we can conclude x1 belongs to U intersection V and x2 belongs to W. So from here we can say that x1 belongs to U and x1 belongs to V and x2 belongs to W. So from here we can conclude that x1 belongs to U and x2 belongs to W and x1 belongs to V and x2 belongs to W. So from here we can say that x1 plus x2 must belong to U plus W, and from here we can say that x1 plus x2 belongs to V plus W. So what is x1 plus x2? x1 plus x2 is x. This is x. So x must belongs to U plus W and x must belongs to V plus W. So X belongs to U plus W intersection V plus W. So from here we can conclude U intersection V plus W is contained in U plus W intersection V plus W. Okay. So which option is true? Option 3 is true. Now let us check option 4. So for option 4, if we check from here, what will be this? This will be X belongs to this. Then X since this is an intersection, so X must belongs to U plus W and X must belongs to V plus W. But from this line to this line, we can't say that this will always have, x will always have the form x1 plus x2, since in this case it may have x1 plus x2, but in case of u plus w, this may be something like x equals to x3 plus x4, where x3 not equals to x1 and x4 not equals to x2. So this may have different composition. So let us check by an example. Similarly, let us take the example of, let us take u as x0 such that x belongs to R, and v as 0y such that y belongs to R, and w as x such, or let us take z such that z belongs to R, and these are the subspaces of R2R. So what will be u intersection v plus w? This will be u intersection v, this means 0 0, and with that it will be 0 0 plus w, so that will be w. Now if we take this u plus w intersection v plus w, so u plus w, so what will be the form of u plus w? That will be u plus w will be something like this, x plus z comma z such that xz belongs to R. So this will be the whole R2R. In a similar manner, v plus w will also be the R2R space, the whole space. So R2R intersection R2R, that will be R2R. But if we try to prove the opposite direction, what will be that? That will be R2R is contained in W. This is not true. So option 4 is not true. Option 3 is true. So in this question, the false options are option 4 and option 1, and option 2 and option 3 are the correct options. Okay. So let us now come to the next question. Okay, so the next question is from 2014 June session. Let V denote the vector space over a field F with the basis E1, E2 up to En. So first option is, first statement is V is a vector space over F having basis beta of V as E1 up to En. Let x1 to xn belongs to the field. So next, xi belongs to field. Let C be another set such that x1 e1, x1 e1 plus x2 e2 up to x1 e1, x2 e2 up to xn en. So C is, this is B. C is another set like this, x1 e1, x1 e1 plus x2 e2 up to x1 e1 plus x2 e2 up to xn en. Then C is linearly independent set implies that xi not equals to 0 for every I equals to 1 to n. So we need to check when C is linear. So C is linearly independent implies what? Option B is xi not equals to 0 implies C is linearly independent. So we need to check what xi not equals to 0 implies. Then the linear span of C is V implies xi not equals to 0 for every I, and xi not equals to 0 implies for all I implies the linear span of C is V. So we need to check 1. C is Li implies xi not equals to 0 for all I. Next we need to check the opposite direction, that is xi not equals to 0 for all I implies C is linearly independent or dependent. Third, we need to check the linear span of C is V, that is V equals to span of C implies what? Implies xi not equals to 0 for all I. And in option 4 we need to check xi not equals to 0 for all I implies v equals to span of C or not. Okay. So let us solve this question. Okay. So there is this result. We are going to use that. See, suppose B equals to E1 to En is a basis of a vector space. Let C be those elements such that Aij, Ej, j is running from 1 to n for I equals to 1 to n is a basis of V if and only if A equals to the matrix whose terms are these Aij, n cross n matrix is invertible. Okay. So we need to check what is this. So suppose let here C consists of W1, W2. Let C be like this W1, W2 up to Wn. So what is W1? W1 is x1 E1. What is W2? W2 is x1 E1 plus x2 E2. What is W3? W3 is x1 E1, x2 E2, x3 E3 up to what is Wn? Wn is this x1 E1, x2 E2 up to xn En. So here we can see that suppose these are the Wi's. So Wi is what? W1 is what? W1 is A1, 1 E1, A1 2 E2 up to A1 in En. Similarly, Wn is what? Wn is An1 E1 up to Ann En. So what is the matrix A? The matrix A is A11, A12 up to A1n. And here An1 up to Ann. Okay. So we need to check whether A is invertible or not. So what will be the matrix A here? The matrix A will be x1, 0, x1, x2, 0, x1, x2, x3, 0, 0, 0, and here x1, x2, x3 up to xn. Okay. So C has n elements. So if these are bases, if these are linearly independent, that will be a basis. Since B also has n elements, so V is an n-dimensional vector space. Since C has n elements, then if C is linearly independent, that will imply C is a basis. And if C is linear span of V is the linear span of this C, then C is the basis. So from if A is invertible, now let us check what is A. A is an upper triangular matrix. So what will be its determinant? Determinant of A will be product of xi's, that is x1, x2 up to xn. So A is invertible when? A is invertible if and only if xi not equals to 0. So from this result, we can conclude that A is invertible if and only if C is a basis of V. So from here, xi not equals to 0 if and only if C is a basis of V. If C is a basis of V, then if and only if C is a linearly independent subset of V. See, if C is a basis of B, that implies C is linearly independent subset of V. But why converse holds? Converse holds because C is linearly independent and C consists of n vectors. So C is a basis of V. In a similar manner, we can conclude that if C is a basis of B, then V equals to span C. And if V equals to span C, and since C has n elements, that will imply C is a basis of V. So these 5 conditions are all equivalent conditions. If one holds, the other one will also hold, and conversely. So if xi not equals to 0, if and only if C is linearly independent, xi not equals to 0 for all I, if and only if V is span of C. So from here we can conclude that these 4 options are all true. So in this question the correct options are A, B, C, D. All 4 are correct options. So thanks for watching this video and subscribe to the channel Math in Web. Thank you.